Hey guys, it's Tricky Nick here. The new Super Mario Bros. Series is notorious for being repetitive and monotonous, but that really isn't the case. At least with some of them. So today, I wanted to rank every new Super Mario Bros. Game from worst to best. This list will include new Super Luigi U, but not new Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, as that game added so little that it's not worth being on the list. I will take it into account when ranking new Super Mario Bros. U though. Anyways, grab your 100th anniversary Haribo gummy bears, now with limited time blue raspberry party hats, and let's rank every new Super Mario Bros. Game. The new Super Mario Bros. Game taking last place is probably the one I have talked about the most on the channel. I've made multiple videos about this game and heavily contemplated whether or not it was the worst new Super Mario Bros. Or not. As it turns out, new Super Mario Bros. 2 is indeed the worst new Super Mario Bros. Game. New Super Mario Bros. 2 has easily the lowest number of new things added, and most of these things aren't even that good. The biggest new gimmick in this game was the coin collection. Nintendo heavily pushed the challenge of collecting as many coins as possible in this game. Why, you may ask? Well, I nor Nintendo really had much of an answer for this. I mean, if you become a hermit and do nothing but play your 3DS for like a year straight, you can get a new loading screen, but that just causes existential dread when you realize how many hours you've wasted on the game. And it wasn't just like Nintendo encouraged coin collecting by means of promotion, they also loaded every level with coins. In fact, most new power-ups and enemies in this game are gold themed and loaded with potential for coin collection. As a result of this carelessness, the game is super easy, like Candyland easy. Since 100 coins still gives you a 1-up and there's an abundance of coins, I'll let you do the math. But on top of the boringly easy difficulty, there's also the world themes, boss fights, power-ups, level design, and music, all of which are derivative of previous entries in the series. There is the occasional night level in Sunset Canyon, but it's so few and far between levels that it's not even worth making it to them. The only good part of this game, in my opinion, are the DLC levels. They contain some of the best level design in the whole new Super Mario Bros. Series, but are locked behind a pretty outrageous paywall. If you're gonna make super high quality levels, you should have at least sprinkled them into the very boring base game. Overall, new Super Mario Bros. 2 proves that all that's gold doesn't glitter, and is so derivative of the other new Super Mario Bros. Games that its existence is almost useless. Kinda like mine when you really think about it. Oh boy, that existential dread from collecting coins is really getting to me. Hurry, let's move on. One of the biggest failures in the new Super Mario Bros. Series also happens to coincide with one of the biggest Nintendo console failures. I am of course talking about new Super Mario Bros. U and the Wii U. Don't get me wrong, I was really excited for new Super Mario Bros. U when it first was announced, and I had high hopes for the game. When playing the game, all seems pretty great when playing the first world. The levels were fun, the new acorn suit was a blast to use. What could go wrong here? Well, then I played through the rest of the game and oh, this game is way too easy. I expected the first world to be easy because it's the first world in the 4th new Super Mario Bros. Game. But after that, I kept expecting the difficulty to ramp up, but it didn't. New Super Mario Bros. U has a lot of unique levels with good designs, but it plays it way too safe. The Koopalings and Bowser also returned for the millionth time here, and while their fights are relatively unique, they're also really easy. Another issue I noticed was the placement of star coins and secret exits. Most are actually fun to find, but then the developers were like, we've run out of ideas, where do we put the rest of these? How about we leave them in an obscure invisible wall with no indicators? Which is just so lazy. Like, how am I supposed to know that there's a cave here? There's no telling. So despite the fact that there are genuinely fun and good parts of new Super Mario Bros. U, it suffers heavily from the game being too easy. It's a real shame because making this game a little more difficult would have bumped it up a lot. Foreshadowing. The first multiplayer new Super Mario Bros. Did not disappoint. Even without this huge new development in the series, new Super Mario Bros. Wii is such a great platformer overall. This was the first time we saw the Koopalings return since Super Mario World, and their transition from that game was drastic. Here, their boss fights are fun, unique, and show off their new personalities really nicely. And while the trope of Bowser growing to massive proportions in the final boss fight was done to death in later entries, it was super dramatic and well executed in this game. But the biggest reason I like new Super Mario Bros. Wii is the levels. The levels in this game are superbly designed for multiplayer. Every star coin is hidden in a fun place to discover, power-ups are fun to use and allow for a lot of free movement. It's fantastic. The star coins also unlock secrets secret levels, all of which were really fun, and some of them were pretty tough too. Especially that 9-7, that level's pretty infamous. But there's a slight problem. Remember 5 seconds ago when I said the levels are designed superbly for multiplayer? Well, I specified that because when you play this game alone, the levels feel a little empty. Nintendo hadn't quite found a happy medium for level design that catered to single and multiplayer without taking away from the experience yet. They were able to hone this a little bit in New Super Mario Bros. U, but then in New Super Mario Bros. U, they made the game too easy, so maybe there's not really a perfect way to do this. Along with that issue, the difficulty kind of spikes in the last 2 worlds of the game, and it's a bit jarring. Whenever me and my friends play this game, we can fly through it effortlessly until World 7 and 8, and then all of a sudden, the game is like, hey, screw you. I do really like the challenge of these levels, don't get me wrong, but it feels so out of nowhere that it can be hard to adjust to. I think a little more balancing could have been done in the earlier worlds. So while New Super Mario Bros. Wii is an overall great game, there are a couple issues that land it in 3rd place. While many aren't fans of this obscure and worst-selling entry in the New Super Mario Bros. Series, I am a huge fan of New Super Luigi U. Being developed on a low budget and as DLC to a mediocre game on a failing console, it seemed that New Super Luigi U was poised to suck. Not to mention, it was the culmination of the Year of Luigi, a $456 million failure honoring the better Mario brother. But by some crazy stroke of luck, the developers hit it out of the park again. Around the time New Super Luigi U was announced, fans were burnt out on the series due to how easy and unoriginal the last couple entries had been. But New Super Luigi U saw these issues and fixed them. For starters, New Super Luigi U has easily the most difficult levels in a New Super Mario Bros. Game. It doesn't just start out super tough though. It slowly gets you into the swing of things by helping you learn the slipperier physics of Luigi and then really testing your ability to properly maneuver with them. There's even some special little Luigis all around the game for us to find. It doesn't do anything, but it's just cool. Sure, the world themes, music, and boss fights are all reused from New Super Mario Bros. U, but the game was on a low budget, and plus that's a very small portion of this game. On top of all this, each level is also given a much smaller time limit compared to any other New Super Mario Bros. Game. This not only adds to the intensity of the level, but unfortunately also shortens them. This is probably the biggest setback of New Super Luigi U. I don't know if it was intentionally done like this, or if the developers were low on time, but the levels are super short in some cases. This is only really disappointing though, because the levels are so high quality. If these levels were the same length as something in say New Super Mario Bros. Wii, then Luigi might have ended up being the king of the New Super Mario Bros. Franchise. Ironic, I know, but it's true. Overall, New Super Luigi U has so much heart put into it, but the lack of resources to flesh it out brought it down just a little bit to make it take 2nd place. So, if New Super Luigi U had high quality and difficult, but short levels, then what could be better? New Super Mario Bros. DS. The one that started it all, the best-selling game in the franchise. It is truly the best of the best. Everything in this game is actually new and original like the name suggests, and isn't just a joke that becomes more and more ironic as time goes on. From the boss fights, to the world themes, level design, physics, movesets, everything was innovative and took strides to improve the 2D Mario franchise as a whole. I especially love this game over all the others because of the levels. There's a good difficulty curve as time goes on, and the game is almost as tough as New Super Luigi U, but with slightly longer levels. On top of that though, each level is extremely unique, even when they're in the same world. Take a look at World 8. I count 8 totally different environments in just this one world alone. Not only that, but each level is designed to introduce a unique new enemy or mechanic, play with it, and then toss it out before it becomes monotonous. I never find myself sick of a level or bored by ones that have nothing new to offer, because there's not any like that. It trims the fat off of the game, so to speak. But that's not to say there isn't enough content. There are 8 worlds and 3 star coins in every level to find and collect. If you are bored of the regular game, I highly recommend trying the versus mode or minigame mode. There's so much fun, especially with friends. But back to the regular game, there's also secret exits and special worlds that require the player to beat a boss fight as Mini Mario. It makes a nice use of an otherwise pretty useless power-up and provides a good challenge. I suppose here's where I'll insert my mini mushroom power-up, more like a power-down joke. Speaking of power-ups, the new blue shell and mega mushroom are probably the weakest part of this game. They aren't as useful as power-ups in the later entries and feel more like a novelty. That being said, that's a very slight issue. There's nothing else I can really find wrong with this game apart from the slightly dated graphics, but it was on like a Cheez-It, so let's give it a little bit of credit here. Overall, New Super Mario Bros. DS is the perfect combination of what every other game in the franchise tried to capture. In the case of the other games though, they fell slightly short in one way or another, making New Super Mario Bros. DS the best New Super Mario Bros. Game. And that concludes my ranking of the New Super Mario Bros. Games. Before you click off this video, I've got a little bonus stat here of what you fans ranked the series versus what I ranked it. To my surprise, the only thing that we agree on is that good old New Super Mario Bros. 2 is the biggest suckfest. Anyways, which New Super Mario Bros. Game is your favorite? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you all in the next one.